This is Top Tier Study Abroad Consult. And then we are very happy to have all of you here today for this special webinar with Dr. William Weged, the Dean of International Students Programs at Liberty University.
Where is Cornelius? All right, I think we lost Cornelius. He's going to rejoin. But first of all, the house rules. If you have, I was just about to say this. Please, if you've not asked you to unmute yourself to ask questions or talk, kindly mute yourself so that Dean can share all the beautiful stories and the beautiful information he wants to give us, both from undergraduate and graduate side. Also, I know a lot of you have brought your questions. It's all in your pocket. You want to ask all these questions. That is why he is here to help answer all these questions for you. Also, those of you who will be going for visa interviews next month, please, we will be having a meeting on Tuesday. Cornelius will be sharing the time that you have to join all of us so that all of us are top tier so we can share information. Some of you are traveling outside Ghana for your visa interviews. We'll be sharing more information as we go ahead. Some of you also would need a little bit of information about the way forward with your application. So on Tuesday, tomorrow, we'll be sharing the time and the date, the time that we'll be meeting out. Also, if you have any information, any questions, on Tuesday, I'll be having an open Zoom sessions where you can just walk in and then ask your questions. I know some of you also have questions about Liberty University on Tuesday. Yes, I'll be open so that we can share. I can share my beautiful experience. And also, if I get to be at Liberty University that day, if I'm with Dean, I would you can just phone in or join me on Zoom and ask him your questions if you don't get to ask them here. And all that we're trying to do is to just open the floodgate for you to have a personal experience and the information that is needed for you to study abroad. We just want to be as genuine as possible. We also want to be very open with you with information. That is why we invite the universities to speak to you. And I think Dean Weged, this will be his second time talking to us about studying at Liberty University, and he will share all the information. Just this year, we got one student who joined the webinar last year, who is currently studying at Liberty University. I'll be meeting with him, and then he's also, I'm going to report him. He's going to share his beautiful experience so far. He always talks about a beautiful campus and the faculty members, of which he's willing to share his information with all of us. Also, the SAT classes. Last week Saturday, they took the test. If you are interested in SAT, TOEFL, IELTS, please let us know. We have a class ongoing. If you want to take TOEFL so that you can improve your chances of getting assistantship, or if the university want to study needs English proficiency, we offer IELTS, TOEFL, SAT, and GRE classes for all interested students. Also, we are open. Our offices are open Monday to Fridays from 8 to 5. You can walk in. We've started our new office in Liberia. We have a satellite office in Sierra Leone. We've opened a new office in Takoradi. So if you're in Takoradi, you want to also visit with us, please let us know. We also have a satellite office in Zimbabwe now. If you want to meet with our rep in Zimbabwe, please let me know. She can schedule an appointment with you, meet at a coffee shop so that you can ask all your questions, and I'll be on standby on Zoom in case you want to talk to me. Also, Cornelius has started traveling. He's already been to Sierra Leone. He's been to Liberia to meet with clients who are interested in studying abroad. We are not just looking at Africa. We are looking at Ghana. We are looking at other countries. Cornelius will be going to different parts of Africa, South Africa, other African countries, Nigeria, to make sure that we assist all students who are interested in studying abroad. We just want to make sure the net is cast wide. Also, we are looking at Europe, and we've already started recruiting from Europe. Currently, we've also recruited students from China who are currently studying in the US. So if you have relatives who just returned from Ukraine, as part of our corporate social responsibility, we have a package to help these students in terms of continuing the education in the US. So please, if you have friends, colleagues, family members who just got back, we have a very special package for them. We also want to give back to the same society that we're recruiting students from, and also do the godly thing, help others as Jesus taught us to do. And that is why we are extending this invitation to students who are coming from China, returning from Russia, and returning specifically also from Ukraine. We have a lot more to offer these students. So please make sure that you are ready to talk to us, and we are also ready to answer all your questions. Cornelius, I'll leave this to you. Please quickly do your announcement, and then Dean can also jump in and share the beautiful experience with us. Again, we are streaming live on YouTube. So if you want to join us on YouTube, you are more than welcome to also join the YouTube. In case you get back and then you cannot log in, our YouTube channel is also wide open. So Cornelius, if you have joined, or Cornelius, if your Zoom meeting is, if your internet is strong, please, you can also join. But it's a beautiful experience to have you all here. I'm super, super excited. Also, if you are not part of our WhatsApp group, Annette is going to put our WhatsApp link in the box so you can join us. And we'll be coming to Sierra Leone again very soon. We'll be coming to Liberia very soon. We are planning a trip to other African countries very soon, Zimbabwe, to meet with all our clients, in Nigeria very soon, so that we can meet with all our clients who are interacting with us from afar. You can have the chance to meet with us and talk face to face. Again, face to face. Also, those who are going for visa interviews, Cornelius has started working on all your, gathering all your packages, making sure your I-20 is current, your service document, all your documents are ready. And also I'll be talking to you about sharing my experience at the US Embassy when I was gonna take in my visa, so you guys can also have the experience. Cornelius, I've been speaking for too long. Please jump in, finish up, and let Dean Wiggett join us. Cornelius, please go ahead with the announcement.
Thank you very much, and I apologize once again. I had network problems, and I think it's stable now. So yes, as Dr. Washi was saying, it's getting interesting already. We entreat all of you to just calm down as we are about submitting people in to start right away with Dr. Wiggett. So yes, as he said, we are all here for you, for all your travel processes, especially with studying abroad. We assist in all these things, and then whatever you need, whatever you want to know, anything that has to do with consultancy, just phone in, walk into an office or email us, and then we would attend to all your problems. So be it all your study abroad processes, right from the applications to preparing you with your documents, getting all legal stuff for you, getting on the campus, and then at the airport, with the airport pick up and drop off, and everything that's oh, sorry, someone is saying the voice is very low. Sorry about that. So whatever process you need, right from the applications to your documentation, to getting the right schools that you want, with doing all your visa processes, going for your visa interview, with the coaching and everything, getting to the school of choice and the country of choice, airports pickups and drop-offs, and then helping you with all the other things that may need as and when you get to the school that you want. We are here for you. At the same time, just as Dr. Boshi said, whatever you need with the students' English proficiency examinations, with the standardized test that has to do with the SAT and the GRE, or the English proficiency tests with the TOEFL, IELTS, just phone in. We can help you with all the tuition and everything, so that you have a higher chance of getting an assistantship, a scholarship, or something that these documents will help you with. So please phone in. At the same time, we'll be having webinars again with the people who will be going for their interviews very soon. to know the dates they are going and where they are going for it, and to assist them in the processes and how they could get there and all. So please just calm down as we are trying to have this webinar to make everything successful today. The road to study at Liberty University with Dr. William Borges. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Cornelius and Mr. Owusu. I do appreciate that, and I do want to welcome everyone here this afternoon or this evening. As you can see, my name is Dr. William Wiegert. I have the privilege of serving at Liberty University, and I'm going to share my screen here right now. I'm going to, Mr. Owusu, I need you to disable screen sharing or end that. Okay, let's see what we can do here by getting that screen up. There we go. And can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir. We can see your screen.
Excellent. My name is Dr. William Wiegert. I'm Dean of International. Dean, please mute your microphone if you are not the host here this evening. I have 37 years experience at Liberty University. I've worked with tens of thousands of international students, and I have some experience, as you can see, at various universities, both secular and faith-based. Liberty University gives me a very unique position to help you understand the difference between a secular or state university and a faith-based university like Liberty University. Before I begin, I want to say something about top-tier study abroad consult. After working at Liberty for the past 37 years, I have had the opportunity to work with educational consultants, probably over 100 from around the world, various countries around the world. I've had the opportunity to travel to all the continents other than Antarctica. And I can tell you that if you work with top-tier study abroad consult, you are in very good hands. I know no other consulting agency that provides the full service and the availability, making themselves available in so many ways as top-tier study abroad consult. They will meet with you face-to-face. They will help you make travel arrangements. They will show up at the university and actually make sure you get to where you need to be. Again, I have not worked with an agency, a consulting agency, that is of the quality or of the comprehensive service as top-tier study abroad consult. Mr. Owusu and I have met personally multiple times. He's visited Liberty University's campus, and as you heard earlier, he will be hoping to visit the campus this week. And so we'll have the opportunity to meet again and perhaps field questions that you might have on site at Liberty University with the CEO of Top Tier Study Abroad Consult and the Dean of International Student Programs. With that, let me begin the presentation by welcoming you to Liberty University. With well over, perhaps with YouTube and other venues, well over 100 that are viewing this particular presentation, I'm not laboring under the false assumption that all of you are going to show up at Liberty University. Of course, I would love for all of you to attend Liberty University, but what I would like to do in this presentation is give you some things to think about whether you come to Liberty University or not. In other words, my worldview is like Mr. Owusu's, in that we are here to add value to you in whatever way we can based on our life experiences and based on our professions. And and as we do that, of course, we hope that we will do everything we can do to help you be successful. And that's our goal here today. My goal is to add value to you if you are a prospective student, if you're a prospective bachelor's degree student, graduate student. I noted what might be some parents on the line here today. Special welcome to you. If you are a mother or father and have a son or daughter who might be interested in attending Liberty University, I have a special place in my heart for you. I have 8 children, 4 boys and 4 girls. They are all adults now. And of course, being a parent is a tremendous responsibility and a tremendous joy. We want the best for our children. And if you're a parent here, I know that you want the best for your children. And that includes being safe, getting a quality education, preparing for a life, not just a career, preparing for, positive relationships, good habits and so forth. And that is really what Liberty University is all about. Where is Liberty University? We are a world-class campus located near Washington, D.C., about 3.5 hours. And we are located in the state of Virginia. If you study American history, you realize that there is a tremendous amount of U.S. history that took place in the state of Virginia. The first permanent English settlement in Jamestown, the end of the Civil War in Appomattox is a few minutes away from our campus. We have one of the first capitals historic capitals in Williamsburg, Virginia, which is a beautiful place to visit. We had the end of the American Revolutionary War. It took place in Yorktown, Virginia. Tremendous amount of history. Of course, Washington, D.C. is basically a neighbor to us. So students at Liberty University have the opportunity to live in a very historic area, a very beautiful area. And you'll notice a bullet point there that Liberty is the second safest campus in the state of Virginia. Now, there's a reason for that, and that is because Liberty University, unlike most universities in the United States, and I can say that safely, having attended as many as I have, and being in higher education for as long as I have, that to attend an alcohol, tobacco, and drug-free campus is a rarity among institutions of higher education. When I attended Miami University of Ohio, Ohio State University, Colorado State University, alcohol, and back in the days, even in the 70s, marijuana was a big thing. At Liberty University, we believe that young people should reserve the decisions regarding alcohol, tobacco, let's say sex outside of marriage, etc. Those are issues to be decided after a student graduates and gets established in a career. We believe that the time that young people are in college is a time to build strong habits, to prepare for a life of health and wellness, to prepare for a life of positive, wholesome relationships, and the time to make decisions on things like alcohol and tobacco is not while you're in college. And so because we have an alcohol and a drug-free campus, we are one of the safest campuses in the United States. I can tell from personal experience that alcohol has a lot to do with crime on college campuses. And we also have single-sex dorms only. This means that the boys do not go in the girls' dorms, the girls do not go in the boys' dorms. We believe in wholesome relationships, but I can also tell you from personal experience that it is very likely that if you attend a state university, you might be a female and your female roommate will be bringing her boyfriend into your room. Now, that is not a good proposition. Could you mute your microphones, please, at your home computers? That would be very helpful to me, and I appreciate that very much. Please mute your.
Please mute your microphones. Please mute your microphones. Please, Dean, there are other students also trying to join. Please, if you can admit them, there are several students in the waiting room. Kindly admit them. Please mute your microphones. I'm pleading with you guys. Please mute your microphones. As soon as you accidentally unmute yourself, make sure you mute yourself again.
Okay.
Then we get, please, there are others in the waiting room. Kindly admit them for me. Thank you.
Do you want me to do that, sir?
Yes, please. I cannot do it since I've given you the host.
I'm going to admit them all. Very good.
Thank you. So time in time, please, if you can admit them, I'll be excited. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, the count is going up. We're soon going to reach 100, I believe. And Mr. Russo, this is a tremendous audience, and I do appreciate your efforts and giving me the opportunity to present Liberty University. As these come into our presentation, I'd like to welcome those who are coming in just now. We've been talking about Liberty University, located in Central Virginia, approximately 3.5 hours from Washington, D.C. Our location is important, and it's important for several reasons. Number one, the city of Lynchburg, in which Liberty University is located, on approximately 4,000-acre campus. And I apologize, I can't translate that into hectares. I probably should know that, being an international enrollment for as long as I have. Maybe one of you can put that in the chat. Do not speak it, please, and figure out how many hectares 4,000 acres is. But our location is important for a number of reasons. The city of Lynchburg is a very safe city. Our location near Washington, D.C. allows students a tremendous opportunity to gain practical experience in our nation's capital. And we're going to be talking about the Washington Fellowship here in a little bit, but that's something that that is important because at Liberty University, we believe that students should build their resumes while they are in college. Now, this is one of these moments where I have the opportunity to add value to you, regardless of where you go to school, or even if you leave the country that you're in to attend college. Build your resume while you're in college. And by that, I mean, as the Dean of International Student Programs, I've had the opportunity over the years to hire many staff members to be able to review applications, look at resumes, and be able to decide out of, let's say, 50 applications that I might receive for a job, how many of those I'm going to interview, because my time was limited and I'm not going to interview all 50. I can guarantee you that. I might, in most cases, I would interview 2 or 3 individuals. What I would look for on their application is not the ranking of their university. What I would look for on their resume would not so much their GPA, because I mean, grade average. And the reason is this: I would rather hire someone with a 2.9 on a 4.0 scale GPA who also worked a campus job and who also served as a member or an officer in a club or an organization on campus, compared to someone who had a 3.9 GPA and nothing else to show for it on their resume. Because I'm looking for well-rounded individuals, and most employers are doing the same thing. We're going to talk in a moment about the importance of a faith-based education and how that translates into the job or the profession that everyone really wants to have. And the idea being that it's more than just academics. When I attended Miami University of Ohio, Colorado State University, Ohio State University, the professors were interested in one thing, and that is how I was doing academically. They were not interested in that part of me that's going to live forever, which is my soul. And they were not interested in that part of me that houses the Spirit of God, which is my body. They were only interested in my academic performance. But at Liberty University, as a Christian university, we believe in whole person education. And so that is something that is important. And it's something that we take very seriously at Liberty University. Now, let's see if I can't scroll down here. We are the largest nonprofit provider of higher education, and we are one of the largest, in fact, at this point, we are the largest Christian university in the United States. I'll tell you a story. When I first started at Liberty University in 1984, probably before most of you were born, Liberty University as an entrepreneurial school had an idea. And that idea is that we were going to offer a distance education program for Christian adults who wanted an accredited degree, but who could not leave home because they were working full time. They were sending their children off to college at that time, back in the 80s, but they themselves were unable to attend college. So Liberty University started what we call the Liberty University School of Lifelong Learning. That allowed individuals to earn associate's degrees and bachelor's degrees at the time, accredited degrees without leaving home, or maybe coming to campus for 1 or 2 weeks. With the onset of the internet, this was very entrepreneurial. This was something that no other campus-based university that I'm aware of was doing at the time. When the internet came, and you can't imagine life without the internet, most of you, but there was a day before the internet, believe it or not, and Liberty University was in tremendous position to offer online education. We now have over 110,000 students in our online program and 15,000 students on our campus. Now, I tell you that story because the revenue from our online program has been put back into building a world-class campus in Lynchburg, Virginia. It is a campus that is ultra-modern. It is high technology. It is an unbelievable campus, more modern than any other campus, because the entire campus has been redone over the last 10 years to the tune of well over $1 billion US. And so we have the opportunity now to provide whole person education. We're going to see some examples as to how that works. Mind, body, and spirit is important at Liberty University, not just the academic performance. Now, we say, why is that important? Well, I'm going to, in just a moment, explain why. We have 200 residential bachelor's degree programs focusing on let's see here, career preparation, practical experience, character development, and what I would say, ethical leadership. Ethical leadership. Now, you asked the question, why is that important? Here's a quotation from US News and World Report, one of the organizations that actually produces the rankings of universities around the world, around the country, around the US. And here they say that employers not only want you to do the job, but to care about it and the people with whom you will interact. Now, if I were to say, what does it mean? What's a good word to describe caring about others and caring about your job? I call it the character quality of empathy. When I attended my secular universities, all three of them, there was no training in character. In fact, at those universities, the peer pressure was in a negative direction. I grew up in a Christian home, but I was not a Christian when I went off to college. And I really did succumb to the peer pressure. Thankfully, the Lord preserved my life and the Lord got a hold of my heart eventually. But during those college years, I can tell you that I did succumb to a significant amount of negative peer pressure. But character qualities are important at Liberty University, as is ethical leadership. You notice this other quotation, more than 9 in 10 of those employers surveyed say it's important that those they hire demonstrate notice, ethical judgment, integrity, intercultural skills, and the capacity for continued new learning. I've highlighted the words in red that are really character qualities, ethical judgment. And so where do you get that? Or maybe I should say, where can you go where your ethics are actually dragged through the mud? Well, I can tell you that many secular universities in the United States have the capacity to draw you into a lifestyle, a worldview, habits, actions, and so forth that are going to detract from your life and detract from your ability to make ethical judgments, detract from your integrity. And yet at Liberty University, these things are important. And this is what we do as a faith-based university. I know we have some prospective graduate students here, and we have some prospective undergraduate students here, postgraduate and undergraduate. So bear with me if you are a postgraduate interested in postgraduate studies at Liberty. And if you are in high school or looking to attend an undergraduate program, bear with me when I talk about our postgraduate programs. Our most popular undergraduate programs include business, School of Business, our School of Engineering, our School of Aeronautics. This is my favorite school at Liberty University because I have a son-in-law and a daughter. They live right next to me. And my son-in-law is a captain with American Airlines. And he is a graduate of Liberty University School of Aeronautics in commercial pilot. But we also have, let's say you want to work in the aviation industry and you don't necessarily want to be a pilot. We have a Bachelor of Science degree in Aviation Maintenance Management. We also have a Bachelor of Science degree in Aviation Administration. The aviation industry is booming. The number of mechanics and those who can supervise mechanics falls way short of the projected demand. My understanding from our professors that I discussed with that every graduate of our aviation maintenance program that does lead to Federal Aviation Administration certification as an aviation mechanic, everyone has been offered at least one job as long as they're willing to relocate. School of Communications, our School of Health Sciences has a very tremendous biomedical sciences, also known as pre-med and pre-dental. We have our own med school here at Liberty University, along with our own law school. But we also have graduate programs in biomedical sciences, as well as a bachelor's program. We have studio and digital arts, music, nursing, and film. Now, you'd say, what's a Christian university doing with a film program, cinematic arts? Our founder, Dr. Jerry Falwell, believed that Christians should be serving in every walk of life. He believed that Hollywood should not be the only name in making quality films, that Christians should be making quality films as well. If you happen to follow the Christian film industry, you know that Christians are now making some tremendous films that are just as popular as the films coming out of Hollywood. So Liberty's film cinematic arts program is a tremendous program, giving students access to the latest technology and everything they need to step right into the film industry. We have many STEM degrees at Liberty University. Now, let me just talk about STEM for a moment. Every student who graduates on a student visa from Liberty University with a bachelor's or a master's degree will have the opportunity to work for up to 1 year on optional practical training. If you graduate from a STEM degree, okay, if you could silence your,
please mute yourself. Please, guys, mute yourself. Mute yourself. Victor, please mute yourself. From Victor. Dean, we get, please, there are students in the waiting room as well. Kindly admit
I am admitting them.
Okay.
It looks like we're pretty close to our limit.
Victor, please mute yourself. Victor, please mute yourself. Dean, can you please mute them? You have the power to mute everyone, please.
Okay, very good. I just did that. Wonderful. And it looks like we are pretty close to our limit on the number of participants in this meeting. And I am admitting all the ones who are waiting in the waiting room. Very good. I was discussing the idea that every student who attends a university college in the United States on a student or an F1 visa will have the opportunity to gain practical experience for up to 1 year following graduation with each degree: associate's, bachelor's, master's, and doctorate. However, if you graduate with a STEM degree, you have the opportunity to apply for what's called a STEM extension: science, technology, engineering, mathematics. STEM graduates can then work for up to 3 years in the United States following graduation. They do this for 1 degree only. Let's say you got a bachelor's degree in a STEM field, and then you get a master's degree in a STEM field. You can only use the STEM extension 1 time. But that does give you a tremendous opportunity to build quite a bit of practical experience while in the United States. Here's Liberty's STEM degrees: information systems, information technology, informatics, mathematics, engineering, computer science, digital media, and health sciences. These are STEM degrees allowing you to work for up to 3 years in the United States. Now, we have a School of Engineering, and if you are interested in engineering, I want to add some value to you. Please attend only a program that is ABET accredited. ABET accreditation is the gold standard when it comes to engineering and technology programs. And so Liberty University's programs are ABET accredited. We offer a bachelor's degree in industrial and systems engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical, civil, and computer engineering. Our engineering program is excellent. We have several nuclear engineering firms here in Lynchburg, Virginia, including Areva and Babcock and Wilcox. We have close cooperation with these industries as well as others in our region, so that our engineering students have the opportunity to gain practical experience. We have high-tech equipment and technology that students have the access to use and to learn from. And these are just some of the technology that's available to our engineering students. State-of-the-art industry labs. Engineering program is very strong. The dean is a personal friend of mine, dean of the School of Engineering. He is one of the most godliest men that I have met. And he has a theme that he instills in all of his engineering students, and that is creationeering, he calls it. It's the opportunity to do engineering after God's own design. I'm going to let a few more into the waiting room here. Admit all. I'm not sure how the screen is actually getting written on. That's really interesting with these red marks, but we'll move on. Very interesting. So here are our STEM degrees that are postgraduate. We have PhD in anatomy and cell biology. We have a PhD in engineering, Master of Science in engineering, MS in exercise science and wellness, MS in biomedical sciences, and MA in strategic communications. These are just our STEM postgraduate degrees. It is not at all an exhaustive list of those who, of our postgraduate degrees. It's a list of those that qualify for the 3-year STEM extension. So that's just a qualification so you understand what's going on. Okay, so let's talk about briefly our master's degrees at Liberty University. We have a School of Behavioral Sciences. We offer an MA in Applied Industrial Organizational Psych, Clinical Mental Health Counseling, Marriage and Family Counseling, Pastoral Counseling. We have a Master of Science degree, and we have a Master of Social Work, MSW. We have master's degrees through our School of Business. We have an MBA, of course. We have Cybersecurity, MS, and we have a Master of Science in Sport Management. Let's talk about that very popular MBA. It's accredited by the Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs. Its length, you have the option of a 36 or a 42 credit hour, which means you have a basic MBA or an MBA with a concentration, which would mean 12 or 14 courses, and the length of that degree would be 1.5 to 2.5 years. Now, with the admission to the MBA program, it requires a bachelor's degree with a 3.0 GPA or higher on a 4.0 scale, and at least 15 hours or 5 courses in upper level business courses. Now, we have an alternative. Let's say you were an engineering major or a psychology major and you want an MBA. That's still very possible. We have 2 ways for you to do that. One is you can take an online course that we call BMOL 590. And in that course, I call it a business degree in a box. You complete that course, graduate successfully with that course, and that will allow you admission. That's an online course you could take from home. An alternative to that is to enroll in our residential graduate certificate of business. That's a 1-semester program. And during that 1 semester, you would be taking BMOL 590. You successfully complete BMOL 590, and you would be able to be admitted to our MBA program the following semester. Very popular program with international students. I'm going to show you in just a moment, maybe the next slide, the number of concentrations in our MBA program. You can get a concentration in accounting, criminal justice administration, finance, healthcare management, human resources, international business, leadership, marketing, nonprofit management, project management, public admin, public relations, real estate development, strategic management, strategic media or digital content, and supply chain management. These are all concentrations within our MBA. We have a master's degrees through our School of Communication and the Arts with an MA in Comms, an MA in Strategic Communication, and then a Studio and Digital Arts Master of Fine Arts. That's what's called a terminal degree, which means that you can actually become a professor at a college with an MFA. It's treated as if it is a doctoral program. So that's a very powerful degree. We have School of Health Sciences with a Master of Science in Athletic Training. We have students that are in our Master of Science Biomedical Sciences, preparing for a medical career, gaining admission to med school. Exercise Science and Wellness, Human Performance, Public Health, and a very, very popular Master of Public Health degree. I'll talk to you a bit about that next. Our MPH, we have concentrations in global health, health promotion, nutrition, and epidemiology. I like the MPH because a bachelor's degree in any subject, it does not matter what your bachelor's degree is in, you will, if you have a 3.0 on a 4.0 scale, you would be a candidate for our Master of Public Health degree, regardless of which bachelor's degree you actually have. This is accredited by the Council on Education in Public Health. It is a 42 credit hour or a 14 course program, and it would take you approximately 2.5 years. What's interesting about this is that you will get a 120-hour practicum included in the curriculum. You have the opportunity to gain certification. You gain experience in a research project, and our faculty in the MBH program have vast experience in industry, academia, and government, and they all hold doctorate degrees. So the MPH program is also a very popular program for international students. Other master's degrees, a little less popular with international students, MA in English, MA in history, a Master of Arts in Public Policy. We do have a number of students, international students in that program, and then various programs in our School of Divinity and our School of Music. Now, let me just talk a bit about our campus. Liberty University, this is a brand new School of Business building, recently constructed, and it is a very high-tech. You saw pictures earlier on, if you came on, of the inside of this building. It has a live stock ticker, so students have the opportunity to actually follow the stock market as part of their program, a beautiful computer room with a stock ticker going around all the time. If you are a Bachelor of Science degree in business, you have some options here, some exciting options through our School of Business. And that is concentrations in accounting, business administration, coaching, computer science, healthcare informatics, hospitality, information systems, information tech, and sport management. Liberty University is very, very welcoming to international students. We have well over 700 students from over 70 countries. And one thing about the International Student Center is that the staff there is totally committed to the success of international students. We provide opportunities for international students to share their culture with the students who are from other cultures or from America, the US. We also help students get to know American culture and just to be able to experience it. We allow them to show off their culture in the Taste of Nations and the Parade of Nations, which was events that I started many, many years ago at the university. It's a tremendous celebration, the Parade of Nations, at one of our convocations. Students from well over 70 countries, you'll have the opportunity. It's truly an international campus, and that's what makes Liberty University just a beautiful experience. Now, we talked earlier about the importance of gaining practical experience and building your resume while you're in college. It's important that you, even if you're in high school right now, encourage you to do whatever you can do to be building your resume. At Liberty, the students every semester are required to participate in community or Christian service. This gives them an opportunity to work, let's say, at the local food bank, work for the Red Cross, work for a local church. And each one of those experiences is a resume building experience. And I encourage our students, as I do, that after you complete your experience of volunteering, for whomever you are volunteering with, ask that person who was your supervisor for a letter of recommendation. Ask them to write it on letterhead, have them date it and sign it. That is part of your portfolio. That is something you will take with you as you travel through life, building your resume. You always have this portfolio with these letters of recommendation that perhaps go back to your high school days. Of course, when you do your volunteer Christian and community service, it's important that you show up on time. It's important that you do what you're asked. It's important that you do more than you were asked, because that is how it is that you are going to get a positive recommendation. I had a lady who worked for me probably 15 years ago. She recently came back into my life, and she was one of my staff members, and she needed some recommendations. And I was able to reflect back upon her service, how she worked hard and diligent, how she came up with creative solutions to problems, how she worked independently, how she worked to make me as her supervisor successful. And I was able to give her a very positive recommendation, in fact, 2 of them, and she was given 2 job offers. Do not take lightly the relationships that you build and that you maintain while you're in college. When we discuss, for example, graduate students and the financial aid opportunities, I will tell you that there are no scholarships for our postgraduate students. However, we do have tuition that is among the lowest of the colleges, private colleges in the United States. We also have the opportunity for students to actually work what we call a graduate assistantship. Students who earn a graduate assistantship have the opportunity to get a full tuition their full tuition paid for, and a stipend for living expenses. Now, how is it that you go about getting a graduate assistantship? Well, it's very difficult to get a graduate assistantship your first year. In other words, if you are applying from Ghana or Nigeria or Zimbabwe, Europe, elsewhere, unless you have a significant amount of practical experience in your field that you are intending to study when you come to the United States, then the chances of getting a graduate assistantship before you show up on campus is going to be a challenge. However, once you arrive on campus, my encouragement to you, and this applies to undergraduate students as well, is to take a personal interest in working with your faculty in the area of interest that you have. Get to know them and allow them to get to know you. Become part of a club or an organization, because every organization, every official club on Liberty's campus has a faculty advisor. So if you become a leader in that club or that organization, and that is going to give you a personal awareness on the part of that faculty advisor. And when it comes time for a letter of recommendation, and please don't underestimate the importance of relationships and the importance of letters of recommendation that you might receive from a faculty or a staff member at Liberty University or wherever you're attending college. But it takes energy. You know, everyone is busy these days, but yet every leader, every faculty, every staff member will be able to recognize someone who is volunteering when they're not asked to volunteer, someone who is available to help when other people are not available. Other people might be back in their dorm rooms playing video games, but not you. You're going to be there talking with your professor, getting to know your faculty advisor, getting to know the faculty advisor of the club that you're going to be part of. And then when it comes time for that individual to give you a recommendation, they will certainly understand who you are. They will remember who you are. And you have ways that you can actually help them remember who you are. In other words, what are you going to do to stand out during your college experience? What are you going to do to help others remember who you are, so that 2 years from now, when you need that recommendation from that faculty member, they say, oh yes, I certainly remember Gabriel Owusu Ansah, the first name that shows up here, or Ike or Alfred. I remember that individual. He was the one that was always on time. He was the one that was always there helping set up for the meetings. He was there after the meetings, taking things down. He was there asking what he could do to help. These are important character qualities, and they're things that we teach at Liberty. Now, back when you saw the map of Liberty University, you saw that our proximity to Washington, D.C. Notice down here at the bottom of the screen that we offer what's called the Washington, D.C. Fellowship. This is an important internship opportunity for students to spend 1 semester in our nation's capital, serving as an intern in an organization or a company or an NGO in an area related to their major. You do not need to be a government major or government affairs or public policy major in order to work in our Washington, D.C. fellowship program. You live in Liberty University housing during that time. You still follow what we call the Liberty Way, which is alcohol-free and tobacco-free living with boys and girls in separate housing. And you do your internship during the day. And then, as you recall, we talked about Liberty's online program offering degrees from associates all the way up to doctorate degrees. You take online courses during the evening to maintain progress towards your degree. Now, as an individual, as a dean at Liberty, if I were to see a resume on which someone wrote a Washington, D.C. fellow, January 2023 to May 2023, I can assure you that that resume would probably be put to the top of the pile. I would want to find out what this person did in our nation's capital, why and how they became a Washington fellow, and that would put their name at the top, probably close to the top of my list. My point to you is this: regardless of where you attend college, take advantage of every opportunity you have to gain practical experience. Now, when I was young, starting at the age of 15, I began working on the Ohio Turnpike Plaza. This was a restaurant and a rest stop for individuals who were doing high-speed travel on a very fast highway. They were getting from point A to point B, and they would stop in the plaza. They would take a short break. They would grab something to eat, use the restroom, and go on. Now, my job at age 15 and 16 was to wash the dishes, wash pots and pans, and clean the restrooms. Now, this was something that was not necessarily an attractive position, but it was something I wanted to do because I wanted to start earning money. Now, what that job did for me is it gave me, you'll recall we talked about the character quality of empathy. It gave me the opportunity to experience what hundreds of thousands of people do all over this world, because every building in this world has people who maintain the building. Every bathroom probably has someone who keeps it clean. Every kitchen has someone who washes the dishes and washes the pots and pans. Now, I'm thankful I'm not doing that for the rest of my life. But I'm also thankful that when I go into a public building, or I go into a restaurant, or I come across someone mopping the floors, I've done what they've done. I've experienced what they've experienced. I can empathize with them, and that's a character quality that has gotten me a long ways in this life. I tell you that story because you may come from an extremely wealthy family, and you may not need to work a day while you're in college, but I can suggest to you that if you have the opportunity to do campus employment, I would encourage you to do that. It looks good on your resume. It will give you opportunity to learn how to budget your time. And it will give you the opportunity to experience life on the employment side. All international students at Liberty University have the opportunity to work on campus for up to 18 hours per week. I just heard recently that the university is offering housing plus $15 an hour to international students who will work on campus this summer. Obviously, there's a labor shortage in this country for some reason, and to have international students is apparently valuable enough for the university to be providing free housing and $15 an hour, which is a pretty good sum for a student worker. Most student workers are making $7.25 an hour. So getting practical experience, doing internships where you have the opportunity, and working a campus job, taking leadership positions in a club or an organization, getting to know faculty members, getting to know advisors, spending time with them, finding out how you can serve them is all part of the college experience at Liberty University. So we really take pride in the fact that our students graduate job ready and having used the latest technology. We talked about our cinematic arts program, where students spend 2 full years out of 4 working in every facet of making movies, both shorts and full-length features. When they graduate, they have experience using the red camera. And the red camera is a technical term referring to the cameras that are used to make Hollywood movies for all practical purposes today. Our students in our music recording major, our music production major, step out into the industry, and they can use the soundboard that is being used in recording studios around the country. So we take pride in the fact that our students, because of the funding and the blessings that Liberty University has received from God, that we have taken the money that God has given to us, created a world-class campus, and provided our students with world-class technology. We have a forensic science program, for example, with millions of dollars of forensic science equipment and technology and other tools that forensic scientists use. Students, again, step out into their industry job ready. This is what we do at Liberty University. We have one of the most technologically advanced campus libraries. This is our Jerry Falwell Library. Dr. Jerry Falwell was the founder of Liberty University back in 1971. We are celebrating, or just recently celebrated, our 50-year anniversary. We are a young school with an amazing campus. This library is high tech. We have a robotic book retrieval system. We have 3 different levels of study rooms, depending upon whether you need absolute silence or whether you like to study with ambient noise. We have collaborative learning rooms that are high tech. All the walls can be written on and erased. They're tremendous platforms for creative problem solving and creative collaborative meetings you might have, because today's problems are solved in groups, and we provide rooms where students can let the creative juices flow and brainstorm. And I've had meetings in those rooms, and it's just amazing what will come out once you start letting the pen fly and you start writing on the walls, and ideas keep coming and keep flowing. This is how the creative juices flow in meetings like this. And so we support the learning process in our library. Liberty University, as the largest Christian university in the entire United States and probably the world, has a direct access to many leaders, Christian leaders in government, business, athletics, entertainment. We have this event that goes on twice a week, where we bring in these leaders to discuss with our students how they are working out their Christian faith in the context of their particular profession. This is a tremendous education that goes on outside the classrooms. We have had many U.S. presidential candidates visit our campus and speak during convocation. We have global leaders, we have ministers, we have authors, we have missionaries. We've had several of the presidential candidates back in 2015 who actually announced their candidacy for U.S. presidency at convocation at Liberty University. You can watch our convocation services. They're streamed online. Go to liberty.edu. This is a tremendous experience that you will not find at any other university. We bring in the kind of world-class speakers that many universities will only bring during a graduation ceremony. At Liberty University, students see them twice a week. We're the only university with a year-round ski slope. Why is this important? We believe in wholesome recreation and wholesome relationships. And so at our ski slope, which is year-round, you can learn to snowboard, you can learn to ski, or you can just hang out with your friends and go inner tubing down the mountain. We want students to have wholesome recreation. This is part of what a Christian educational experience is all about. Here are some views of our beautiful campus. You saw earlier in the video that Mr. Owusu presented our Liberty Tower, aerial view of our campus. It's just a beautiful campus. NCAA Division I is our athletics are top notch. I'm often asked, and you might be asking about scholarships. There's not anything I can really tell you about our athletic scholarships other than you or your coach should make contact with the appropriate coach at liberty.edu. You can go to liberty.edu/athletics. Information there as to our recruitment programs, the various NCAA Division I sports that we offer. And if indeed you end up on campus, you have the opportunity to try out and to walk on to these teams, should you have the necessary ability in that particular sport. Our track, for example, has hydraulically banked curves. I think it's pretty fascinating venue for track. And many NCAA Division I sports. State-of-the-art facilities, have flight simulation in our School of Aeronautics. We talked about our aviation maintenance program in our commercial pilot program. And here you see on the left our performance theater, which is a unbelievable acoustically engineered to perfection performance for our School of Music. On the right-hand side, you see our theater. This is a place that the plays that I have seen here are Broadway quality plays. Our theater major students have the opportunity to work alongside professional actors and actresses. We have a professional acting troupe in residence on Liberty University's campus. The musicals that have been performed there with the dance and the music have just been tremendous. You do not need to be a theater major to be in the plays. You can be part of the actors, actresses. You can actually be part of setting up the stage, the costumes, the designs, many, many ways to get involved, even volunteer as an usher if you wish at these plays. It's a tremendous opportunity. State-of-the-art facilities, as we've talked about, this is some views within our Liberty University library. It's a place that I love to go just to hang out because it's such a bright and tremendous ambiance in the library, a great place to study, learn, and collaborate with other students. Hockey is big at Liberty University. American football is also big. We have many places around campus where students can actually, as we say, just hang out. Our food service, as you'll see in a moment, is rated one of the top food services of any college campus in the United States. Again, why is that the case? As a faith-based university, we believe that our bodies are the temple of God's Spirit, and we're to take care of those bodies of ours. We are to take care of the temple of the Holy Spirit. We do that through proper nutrition. We do that through proper exercise, and we want students to have live and develop healthy habits and live healthily while they are on campus. And so we have various restaurants around campus that are all part of the student's meal plan. If you are living on campus, if you are a graduate student, you can actually be part of the meal plan, even though you live off campus. As I said, our dining services are ranked, different ranking systems, but bestcolleges.com, and that is one of the assistants. There's niche.com, there's bestcolleges.com, wholesome nutrition, and a tremendous variety of foods, including for special diets. So I love going to the cafeteria or the dining hall every time I have the opportunity. Our residence halls, we have a tremendous variety of housing opportunities on campus, ranging from traditional dorms where you have 2 or 3 to a room and a sink in your room and the bathroom down the hall, all the way to apartment living where you basically have, as you see there, your own kitchen, your own bathroom, and a private or semi-private bedroom. So these have different price ranges as well, but whatever type of living situation is optimum for you, we want you to have it. Of course, as I said earlier, many of you have joined after this presentation began. Top Tier is one of the premier education consulting agencies that I have had the privilege of working with over the last 37 years. They are a full service organization. They are radically committed to your success, and they have so many services that I'm just kind of amazed how Owusu and his staff actually get it all done. So you are in very good hands with Top Tier, and I would encourage you to submit your application through Top Tier. They have an online application for you that will waive the application fee. If you apply apart from Top Tier, you're going to be paying more, and we want to save you money. What else is required for a bachelor's degree? Admission essay. Now, as a Christian university, we understand that many of our students are not necessarily Christian believers, and that is not a requirement to attend Liberty University. However, we do want students to understand the nature of Liberty University. We want them to understand they are coming to a Christian school. We want them to understand that as a bachelor's degree student, you will be taking a course in Bible, a course in Christian doctrine, a course in your own personal Christian life. And then you will also be asked to follow and participate in our lifestyle, convocation twice a week, prayer in the dormitories, alcohol-free, drug-free, and tobacco-free living. These are things that many parents appreciate, even though they themselves might not be Christian or might be coming from a non-Christian culture. They want their student to be safe. They want their student to be in an environment where the boys are not going to be roaming through the girls' dorms. These are important things to many, and we want our students to understand the type of university that Liberty is. We are unique among 4,000 universities in this country. And we don't apologize for that. If you want a wild and crazy experience, and that's your option. But we have a very exciting campus life but it's not the kind of campus life where you will be having beer parties in your dormitory, or your roommate or you will be having a member of the opposite sex in your dorm room. We believe the time for that is not during the college year. So in the admission essay, we ask you to talk about your own personal faith and how that relates to what Liberty University offers. And again, you do not need to be a Christian, but we want to make sure through your essay that you understand what Liberty University is all about. Copy of your passport page, your photo page of your passport, your transcripts, high school and college. We ask that they be evaluated by a NACES credential evaluation organization. NACES is an accrediting organization, www.naces.com. And we have a particular, one of those companies that's accredited by NACES called Spantran. And Mr. Owusu and his staff from Top Tier can actually help you get your transcript admitted. Your transcript evaluated, and they will translate your transcript into a 4.0 grade average so that we can award you the right academic scholarship. And then, of course, once you are admitted academically, we will ask you for your affidavit of financial support, which is required for your I-20. Liberty University's tuition is in the lowest one-third of private colleges in the United States. And we do offer our tuition this year is $23,800. Now, I would quick to say two things about that. Number one, our tuition has not gone up for 4 years in a row. The other thing I would say to you is that no bachelor's degree student who is attending Liberty University on a student visa will pay that amount. Every international student with a student visa will pay less than $23,800. That we believe in making Liberty University education as affordable as possible. Of course, we have our bills to pay as well, but we try and make it affordable, and all international students, bachelor's degree level with a student visa, will receive some level of financial assistance. Average first year aid is around $5,000 off of that tuition. How can you get scholarships? Well, first of all, the academic scholarships are automatic. Once you submit your transcripts to the credential evaluation company, they will evaluate, they will calculate a grade point average based on a 4.0 scale, which is most common in the US. And they will send that evaluated transcript along with your grade average to Liberty. And that grade average will determine your academic scholarship. This is the annual amount you see here. Now, the SAT and the ACT are not required for international students. However, a high score on an SAT or ACT can actually help you. My recommendation, please listen to me here, is that if you are taking the SAT or the ACT, do not designate Liberty University as a recipient of the scores until after you receive the scores and you know what they are. And then you contact Top Tier and you ask them if you should send your SAT or ACT scores to Liberty University. We don't want your scores to hurt you. We don't want your scores to result in low or a denial of admission. If you have the grade average and you actually do very, very poorly, let's say you had a very bad day on the day you took the SAT and you wrote Liberty University as an automatic recipient of your SAT scores. And so Liberty gets a copy of your SAT scores and they're abysmal, they're horrible. That could hurt you. That could result in a denial of admission. And so we ask you, when you sit down to take the SAT or the ACT, again, it's not required. But if you do take it, do not designate Liberty as a recipient of the scores until after you see what your scores are. You work with Top Tier to find out if you should have those scores sent. It might cost you an extra $10 or $15 to have those scores sent to Liberty University after the fact, if indeed they will help you. Additional financial aid opportunities for bachelor's degree students. I encourage international students to apply for the honors program if they have a high grade average. However, if you do not get into the honors program your first year and you happen to earn a 4.0 all A's your first semester, then I encourage you to apply for the honors program for the second year, and in which case you will get admitted, and this will result in additional scholarship, additional opportunities, and that looks really good on your resume. We talked about athletic scholarships. We have an early deposit award up to $2,000 off of your first year by paying the $250 early deposit, or what's called a $250 confirmation deposit. The earlier you pay that, the more money you will get for your early deposit award. And of course, your deposit is refundable completely if you fail to get a visa. Your deposit is also refundable up to May 1st if you decide not to attend Liberty University. So it's important that once you submit an application, I would encourage you to pay the $250 deposit as well. And then if for some reason you do not get admitted, or you're denied a visa, or you change your mind, you can get that $250 wired back to you. We have book dollars for every student first semester. We have the Liberty Champion Award, which is $8,000 over 4 years. The first year it's $1,000 off. And then we have other opportunities, particularly for upper class students as they work in positions that have scholarships associated with them. So each student's situation is unique, and we try and make Liberty University as affordable as possible. And again, if you joined us late, we do know that campus employment is an opportunity as well. You can work for the university. You can also work for contractors who provide services to students. And at Liberty, that's two. We have Sodexo, which is a global food service company. They provide all of our food service, and international students are able to work for them. And then we also have a security company called Rhino, and international students can work for the security company, again, up to 18 hours per week. With any of those, you can work part-time while you are in the United States. Let's see here, talked about that. And okay, that is the end. I've talked for a long time here, Mr. Wusu, and I'm going to stop my sharing, and I will be very happy to first, thank you for the opportunity to speak to all these students. And secondly, to thank all the attendees here and my willingness to address any questions they might have.
Thank you very much, Dean Wegget. We truly appreciate this thorough presentation. I have been receiving a lot of text messages here. The first one just said, thank you very much for the Zoom meeting. Very helpful. A lot of my questions were answered. And then the person said he doesn't have any questions because you've answered all his questions. So please, this is a very fun opportunity to put your questions across. You can either put it in the chat box or you can unmute yourself and ask your questions. Okay, so Dean, the first question is, please, could you elaborate a little more about MBA, if there are any scholarships opportunities, or about MBA scholarships and opportunities?
Yes, that's a very good question. So with our postgraduate programs, all of our master's degree programs, let me put it this way, none of our master's degree programs or postgraduate programs have scholarships per se associated with them, unless you're an NCAA Division I athlete and you're playing your 5th year or the first year of your grad school as a NCAA scholarship athlete. However, apart from that, there are two opportunities. First of all, our tuition is relatively low. So we try and make a graduate tuition very, very affordable. The second thing is you have the opportunity to work a campus job while you are a postgraduate student. And thirdly, we have what we discussed earlier, graduate assistantships. These pay for your full tuition and they pay for a stipend for living off campus. So as I said earlier, number one, you apply for the graduate assistantship only after you've been completely admitted to Liberty University. So first thing to do would be to submit an application and submit all the other documents that are necessary for you to be admitted. And then you can submit a separate application for a graduate assistantship. Now, if you are a student who, let's say, just completed your bachelor's degree and you don't have a wealth of experience, let's say, in the business world, then most likely you're not going to qualify for a graduate assistantship your first year. Now, it's possible, and I encourage you to apply because Liberty University really works closely with our international students. And I think having the kind of international diversity that you might bring from Nigeria or Ghana, Zimbabwe, or elsewhere is going to be an asset to that department. So they may look at you and say, listen, we have 3 Americans that we've given GA positions to. We want to give the 4th one to an international student, and you might be the one that they actually give it to. They will be looking at your grades. They will be looking at your resume. They will be looking at your background and your professional experience. But let's say you don't have a lot of professional experience, you coming right out of your bachelor's degree into a postgraduate program, then I would suggest doing what I said earlier. And if you came on late, my recommendation was that you get to know the faculty. You make it clear from your first semester that you would like a GA, you'd like to apply for a GA position your second year. You volunteer. You show up on time. You find out ways that you can serve. And I'm not talking about buttering people up. I'm not talking about being fake in any way. I'm talking about being a genuine servant. Jesus said, the greatest among you is he who serves. And I can't promise you that if you take on that attitude and work closely with your faculty and the staff that's part of that department, let's say the School of Business, that you will get a GA. I'm not promising that to you. I'm just saying that the GA positions are given to students who have demonstrated an ability to serve, who have demonstrated their willingness to serve, their leadership, their maturity, the fact that they show up on time, they're good academics. Let's say if you're a poor student and they're looking for a GA to help teach a class or to help fill in a class or to help grade papers or something like that for the bachelor's degree students, they're not going to be interested in you if you are just barely getting along academically. So I can't make any promises beyond that, other than there are ways for you to finance it, particularly more likely that you would be able to do that your second year of your graduate program compared to your first year, unless you have a wealth of experience that you bring. Let's say you're 30 years old and you've been working in the industry, and now you want to come to the MBA program at Liberty University. Then that would be a different story. Now, in any case, I strongly encourage you to apply for the GA, but only after you have been admitted to the university. So that's first step. Good question.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
The question I see here. Okay, I'll let you, Mr. Wusu,
All right.
me the question.
This question I'm even asking from us. Okay, let me read a student's question. Hello, I'm a nurse in Ghana with a first degree. Are there scholarships for neuroscience specialty program? Does Liberty run a neuroscience specialty program?
First of all, our School of Nursing, which I didn't discuss, is one of the top nursing programs in the United States. We have what we call a high fidelity mannequin lab, which is one of the best in the States. University of Virginia, which was started by Thomas Jefferson, down the road, an hour away in Charlottesville, is jealous of our high fidelity computerized mannequin lab in our School of Nursing. So we have a School of Nursing, bachelor's degree, BSN. However, our graduate programs for our nurses, our Master of Science in Nursing is an online program. And so we do not have any specialties in neuroscience or anything like that. We have the Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences. And then we actually have a PhD in the same subject. And we also have our medical school here at Liberty, but nothing specific in the area of neuroscience nursing, if that's what you're interested in. And I'm sorry, we don't have anything there that would fit that. You're muted, Mr. Wusu.
Okay. I have a GPA, please, I have a GPA of 2.6, graduated from the University of Ghana. Is it possible to gain admission?
Yes. Liberty University was started by Dr. Jerry Falwell, and Dr. Jerry Falwell was a very famous pastor in the United States. He had a philosophy, and that is that we're going to provide an education to students who may not have been stellar academics while they were in high school or while they were in college. We're going to give them a chance. We're going to give them every opportunity that they could possibly want in order to achieve and serve the Lord in whatever way he's calling them to serve. I say that because there are many individuals at Liberty who maybe their lives were, they weren't following the Lord in high school days. And then God gets a hold of them and they say, listen, I want to serve God now. But yet look at my GPA in high school. It's only a 2.5 or 2.6. Liberty University will give you an opportunity. If you're willing to work, we might require you to take some additional courses, we might limit the number of credits that you would take your first semester, just to make sure we're giving you a good solid foundation. But a 2.6 would not limit you. So the short answer to your question is yes, with a 2.6 GPA. If we're talking about high school, if I heard the question right, if it's a bachelor's degree and you have a 2.6 from University of Ghana, it is possible in some of our postgraduate programs for you to be admitted on what's called academic warning. It's going to vary depending upon which master's degree you're interested in.
Okay, thank you. The second question is, can I do Masters in Data Science and Artificial Intelligence with a Bachelor of Technology in Electrical and Electronic Engineering?
Here's what I would suggest. Go to liberty.edu, because we do not have a particular degree in the way that the question was asked. We don't have a degree that uses that same language. However, as you saw from our MBA and our School of Business and our School of Engineering, we have various degrees that actually are very closely related to that. So I would go to liberty.edu and then type in what you're interested in, and check out our School of Engineering, type in engineering and type in School of Business, and see which of those degrees, for example, the cybersecurity comes to mind, the IT comes to mind, the informatics comes to mind. There's a lot of closely related programs that we offer. We just don't have one that's called exactly what you said.
Right, thank you very much. Then second question is, I would like to know if there is a program like MSc or Master of Science Construction Management at the Department of Civil Engineering. I have a GPA of 3.74.
What was the GPA?
3.74.
Excellent. Congratulations on a very high GPA. We have a general Master of Science in Engineering, and that would be, and you have the opportunity to participate as an engineering student in our Center for Advanced Engineering Research. Liberty University purchased a research facility that was previously owned by Babcock & Wilcox, the nuclear engineering firm here in the city of Lynchburg. And now that center is completely dedicated to Liberty students, both undergraduate and postgrad students. So the short answer to your question is we have an MS Engineering, and I would encourage you to check it out at liberty.edu and just type in School of Engineering in the search box in the top. It's liberty.edu.
What is the age limit for both bachelor's and master's degree?
The only age limit would be that imposed by the U.S. Consulate Office. We do not have an age limit. We have an age limit on students who can actually live on campus, which is 24. Beyond that, you'd be living off campus. However, pursuing a degree at any age is wide open to you. And so either through our online program or through our residential studies. My experience over the years is that older students pursuing a bachelor's degree are less likely, and even a master's degree are a little less likely to be granted a student visa by the U.S. Consular Office. But as far as Liberty is concerned, age is not a limitation. Good question. Right. Follow your dreams.
So I would have to rephrase this question. The person, I think, has a background in vocational and technical program. Is it possible for them to, those students with like a vocational background, to pursue degree programs?
Yes. So this is where our credential evaluation company comes into play, because Liberty University is not we do not have the expertise on our campus to evaluate transcripts from around the world, particularly transcripts that are a little bit out of the box, a little bit unusual. Let's say, for example, it might be a high school program where you took a vocational technical track instead of an academic track. So we rely heavily on the NACES organization, and the one we work with is SpanTran, but you can work with any organization accredited by www.naces.org. And Top Tier can help you with that, with the finding one or using SpanTran that actually has a dedicated web page for Liberty University applicants. We will rely on them to do the evaluation of your academic credentials and to tell us what it is equivalent to in US terms. And that evaluation will determine which program you're eligible for at Liberty University.
Okay. Please, can you talk about PhD programs, resident PhD programs at Liberty University?
Yes, limited number of actual doctoral programs. I guess the question would be, what doctoral program is the student interested in?
The student was not specific. Just wanted to know if there are any PhD or doctoral degree programs.
Yes, let me pull that up real quick here. It's a very good question because Liberty, we have residential doctoral degree programs in, of course, we have our Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. In our School of Divinity, we have Doctor of Philosophy and Theology and Apologetics. In our School of Behavioral Science, we have a Doctor of Psychology, Clinical Psych. In our School of Engineering, we have a PhD in Engineering. In our School of Health Sciences, we have a PhD in Anatomy and Cell Biology. Of course, our law school is offering the JD, the Juris Doctorate. And then our School of Nursing, we have a DNP, Doctor of Nursing Practice, Family Nurse Practitioner. Those are all residential doctoral programs, but I want to be quick to say that I'm not 100% certain that we can offer the I-20 for a student visa on some of these. For example, I'm quite sure the PhD in Engineering, I'm quite sure the PhD in Anatomy and Cell Biology, I'm quite sure the Juris Doctorate and the Doctor of Nursing Practice. I'm not quite 100% sure on the Doctor of Psychology, whether we're authorized to issue an I-20 for that one as well. But those are our doctoral programs. Good question.
Okay, great. All right. Please, I have a I have a bachelor's degree in nursing. I wanted to know, as an international student, can I study nursing? Can I pursue a graduate degree in nursing?
The next degree would be the MSN, Master of Science in Nursing, and that degree is only open to those students who are licensed as nurses in the United States. And that degree is also an online degree as well. So it would not be available to students who need a student visa to study on campus.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me scroll through my questions, please. Okay. All right. I have 7 more questions for you. Oh, it's still coming. Can I pursue a master's in divinity on campus?
Absolutely. That's my degree in our School of Divinity, a Rawlings School of Divinity. It is a significantly long program. It's approximately nearly 90 semester hours, which is 30 courses. It will take you approximately 3 years, but we do have a very, very good MDiv program. One option to always, I want to encourage students who are interested in programs like this that are offered both residentially and online, would be to perhaps begin the program online. If you're interested in, let's say, saving money or saving time living in the United States, you can actually begin that program and do a semester, do a year, do 2 years, do the entire degree online, or do part of it online and then come to campus, or do 100% of it here on campus. We'd welcome you to do that as well. It's a tremendous pastoral training program.
Okay. Can one use a master's degree to apply to another master's program at Liberty University?
Say that again, sir.
Can one use, I think the whole thing is the person has a master's degree and wanted to know if they can apply to another master's degree program with their master's transcript.
Absolutely. Now, the real issue there is going to be how the U.S. visa officer is going to look at that. They might look at that and say, we already have a master's degree. Why are you going for another master's degree? However, at Liberty University, you cannot transfer credits from a completed master's degree into a master's degree at Liberty. If you've got the degree already, you're welcome to pursue another master's degree at Liberty. That's not a problem at all.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
I see the question. You have an MSc in accounting and finance. Can my transcript from that program be used to calculate my chances of getting scholarship in the STEM MBA? Yeah, first of all, the MBA is not STEM. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. So the MBA is not. Second of all, we do not have scholarships, as I explained, for our postgraduate programs. We have graduate assistantships, not scholarships. And then if you already have a Master of Science in Accounting and Finance, I would suggest to you pursuing our Doctor of Business Administration, which is an online program, not a residential program. It's a DBA, and it is fully accredited. Now, of course, we didn't cover some of this, but Liberty University is regionally accredited with the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. So your doctorate program would be a regionally accredited doctoral degree, but that's an online DBA.
Okay, so the second question is, please, do you offer, I'm reading from Zoom, from YouTube. Please, do you offer MA in history or religion?
We do. We have one of the degrees that is not necessarily super popular with international students, but it's very open to you. It is an MA, Master of Arts in History. And Liberty being located in the Eastern US and in Virginia, we have tremendous opportunities to study American history, but that may not be your specialty. We have that MA in history for you, yes.
Okay, good. I don't really understand this question. Maybe probably you might get it. What is the education gap for bachelors and masters?
We have a Bachelor of Education degree, B.Ed. We also have a Master of Education degree. However, that is online only. Our Bachelor of Education actually trains students to prepare for state licensure in the United States. So that program, if you are admitted to the Bachelor of Science, the Bachelor of Education, it's not a BS education, it's called a Bachelor of Education. If you're admitted to that program, you need to be prepared for the visa interview to answer the question, what are you going to do with the Bachelor of Education from the United States? Because you can't say, I want to be a teacher in the United States. That's right. The student visa is a non-immigrant visa, and Top Tier will help you with that, preparing for that interview, but just something to think about.
All right. Please, I have a degree, but I want to pursue another degree in a different program. Is it possible? Like, I have a bachelor's degree, I want to pursue another bachelor's degree.
I love this question. And the reason is because it's such a wide open question. And I guess I always answer that question by asking another question back. What's your dream job? What do you want to do? Why would you come to the United States and get another degree? Why would you get a master's degree? For what purpose? Just because you like to study, or because you have something that you'd like to do? We have a number of really cool postgraduate degrees at Liberty that you can apply to and get admitted to, regardless of which bachelor's degree you have. For example, we talked about the Master of Public Health. You could be an accountant, you can have a nursing degree, you can have a zoology degree, you can have a math degree, and you can still be admitted to our Master of Public Health. If you want to serve the world through nutrition, global health, health promotion, or epidemiology. And hey, those are kind of hot topics today, don't you think?
Right.
Whatever you do, whatever bachelor's degree you have, getting into our MPH program, it doesn't matter which bachelor's degree you have. It's the same way with our School of Communications. We have an MA in Comms and MA in Strategic Communications. Those degrees are generalist in the sense that, what do you want to do with it? Communication is important in every field. So it doesn't matter as far as admission to the MA Comms or the MA Strategic Communications, what bachelor's degree you have. And so we do have a number of, and of course, our School of Divinity. You want to serve the Lord, want to learn more about theology, more about Bible, more about church history. It doesn't matter. I was a forest biology major with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in forest economics. And then I changed and went and got a Master of Divinity degree. So the question is, why would you want to do that? Why do you want to spend the time and the money? What's your dream job, and how do you get to your dream job from where you are now? And how can Liberty help you with that? Those are the questions that I think are important.
Great, fantastic answer. Please, do you offer Master of Business Information Systems?
I think if you looked at the concentrations of our MBA, I think one of them was informatics. There's a host of different concentrations within our school. Let me see if I can just grab it here real quick and kind of refresh our memory of all the different concentrations that are available through the MBA. Here it is. MBA Finance, Healthcare Management. There's a job for you. Healthcare management is big industry, growing industry globally and in the US. We have concentrations in our MBA in healthcare management, human resources, international business, leadership, marketing, nonprofit management, project management, public administration, public relations, strategic management, supply chain management, and accounting, criminal justice, and finance. So that may not have hit exactly on the question, but those are the concentrations that are available through our MBA.
Okay. Please, I've checked the MS Engineering Management. Why is it online only and not residential or both?
The MS Engineering is available residentially.
Yeah, I think I thought. Do Liberty University allow dual master's program?
Technically, you can only be enrolled in one program at a time. And so I guess the question would be dual, as in the sense I'm taking courses in two different master's degrees at the same time. And I would say you could do just as well taking them sequentially. In other words, yeah. So I would say, Gabriel, dual, I've never heard of that in 37 years. So my guess would be that that's not possible, that you certainly can apply for a second master's degree as you are approaching completion of your first master's degree if you want to do that. However, I've been asked over the years, should I pursue a second bachelor's degree? Well, no, I generally never recommend a second bachelor's degree. It would always be, no, go on for a master's degree. Master's degree has more credence than and credibility and more clout than a bachelor's degree. And if you're interested in a second master's, maybe you should pursue a doctoral program rather than a second master's. But you may have reasons for two master's degrees, and I would just say do them sequentially rather than try and do them at the same time.
Okay, great. Do you have a PhD in public policy or health policy?
I'm sorry, we do not.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Let me check YouTube and see if there are any questions there. Please, do you offer PhD in economics?
No, sorry.
Do you offer medicine?
We have our own college of osteopathic medicine. Our students go out and serve as doctors around the country and around the world. So yes, it's a Liberty University College of Osteopathic Medicine. It requires a bachelor's degree. It's a 4-year program. The first 2 years are classroom and the second 2 years are rotation. And then you go and do your residency after that.
Okay.
And we have a number of international students in that program.
That's nice.
And students who may not be able to get into our medical school with a bachelor's degree are welcome to enroll in our Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences. That program, I can't say guarantees you admission to medical school, but it's a very good starting point to actually get an MS degree in biomedical sciences and then go on. I have a son who's doing that right now. He got a graduate assistantship. So now he's helping teach undergraduate students who are biomedical science majors. And he's also getting his tuition paid for. And he hopes to get into medical school in 2024.
All right. I hold a bachelor's degree in business management. Please, what program can I further in your school?
That would be, you would be a prime candidate for our MBA. If you want to stay in the business world, you'd be a prime candidate for our MA in communication, our MA in strategic communication, and our Master of Public Health, among others. Master Divinity. Again, when I hear a question like this, it's like, okay, there's various degrees that you would be eligible for with a completed bachelor's degree in business management. What do you want to do? Why do you want to get a master's degree? What do you want to do with it? What's your dream job? And then you go from there, from your end game, and say, okay, what degree do I need that will help me meet my goal? And we can work with you on that. Be glad to help. I'm sure Top Tier will help you too.
Right. Guys, we have 2 minutes to go. We've already passed our time, which should have been 1 hour, 30 minutes. And we've now 30 minutes past. So, Dean, I will read 2 more questions to you. And then if they have any questions or concerns, I'll let you all know if I'm able to make it to Liberty University. We can still have a time to talk. You can join our webinar. You can join me on Zoom when I'm at Lynchburg, and then we can talk about this. Okay. He already said he cannot apply without an evaluation. Evaluation still needs to be done. If it could have been waived, that would have been stated. Yeah. I have a bachelor's degree. Oh no, this is
SAT is not needed. If you're from an English-speaking African country, the IELTS or the TOEFL is not needed as well. So if you're from a Francophone African country like Congo, we do require a test of English proficiency. But if you're from Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Zimbabwe, no test of English proficiency is required. It might help you with a visa process if you show that you've taken an IELTS or a TOEFL. Not required for Liberty if you're from an Anglophone African country.
okay.
You guys have been a great audience. I really appreciate your attention, and I know that Owusu and myself will be available for further questions, particularly if Mr. Owusu makes it on Tuesday. Before we let everyone go, Mr. Owusu, I'd love to have a time of prayer for everybody. We need to pray for peace in our world. There's a lot of things happening that we need God to intervene for.
Please go ahead.
Okay, Father, let's pray. Let's pray, everyone. Father, I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to present my university of training champions for Christ to these great audience with the great questions. I thank you for the parents who might be listening. I thank you for the prospective undergraduate students and the prospective graduate students. I pray, Father, that you would give them wisdom, give them direction. I pray that you would meet their needs according to your riches and glory and provide, Father, for their needs, their tuition wherever they attend school, that you would bless them as they seek to serve you. I pray, Father, for peace in our world. I pray for wisdom for our leaders. I pray for the end of conflict. I pray for abundance and prosperity in this world. And I know, Father, that as we work together, as we serve together under the headship of God, we can do that. And so we pray for peace that passes all understanding. And thank you for the Prince of Peace. It's in his name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you very, very much, Dean Werger. We truly appreciate you blessing us today. And yes, we all need peace within the world. We all need one another to grow, to develop. And, you know, I hope you guys learn a lot and you'll be willing to join Liberty University so you can all be a champion for Christ and you will get to know God and make him known. You know him and make him known. And this is a very important motto that when I was taking my classes at Liberty University, I took a course which focused more on biblical integration. How do we integrate Bible into classroom curriculum? So as a professor, I had to learn how to do biblical integration and how to preached about loving all my students and also praying for peace and praying for prosperity for each and every one within my classroom. And that is one of the core values we hold at Top Tier Study Abroad Consult, that every goal that you have to study abroad as a faculty, my job is, and also as one of the colleagues at Top Tier Study Abroad Consult, is to help champion for Christ and also to help each and every one achieve the dreams, the goals that they want to get. And it's very important to me currently that each and everyone is able to do whatever they want to do. And that is why we're here, to make sure that you get to your limit. You get to wherever you want to be. Studying abroad, we are here for you. And I've been on, last year I was at Liberty, I think 3 or 4 times. And the campus never ceased to amaze me. Beautiful campus, extremely beautiful. Maybe on Tuesday, I'm thinking of climbing going on the hills, taking a hike. I have never done it. I want to go to where the LU is at, and one of my colleagues has promised that if I come, he's gonna take me over so I could climb. And I'm really excited today that even outside of over an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, we still have over 50 people who are still here listening to this beautiful presentation. Even as after the presentation, we had over 90 people after the presentation. You know, during the questions and answers, I know some of you said it's late in Zimbabwe and Congo that you have to drop off. I think it's like 10 p.m. wherever you are. But I'm really glad that you all made it here. And also, those of you are going for your visa interviews, please reach out to us. And Cornelius, what do we all tell the Wiget? What message do we have for him? I know you've all enjoyed. What message do you have for him? For me, I would say thank you very much, and I hope Top Tier and Liberty builds a good relationship. Cornelius, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that we owe a lot of appreciation to him. But we'd like to tell him that God bless him so much for the work he's doing, and that whatever he does, and the teaching he does to the students, the impartation he does, and they go well, whatever he does them, and then we hope to let most of our students come to Liberty University very soon. So we hope to have a continued relationship with the school as well, and Dr. Oget himself. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your efforts and all you are doing for us. God bless.
Thank you very much. God bless all of you. It's been an honor. Bye now.
Bye. All right, guys. Bye.
That's it.
All right, Top Tier workers, please stay on. Top Tier staff, please stay on. The rest you can leave. Thank you all.